What's going on, people? We are here with Bullpen Banter, your weekly dose of chatter about MLB The Show. Nothing big's happened today, so it's just going to be a normal show. Uh,
Nothing big at all. No, there was no major Diamond Dynasty concern at all today. Nothing like that.
no. So yes, obviously the big news that came out. I don't know, when did this come out? I feel like I've only heard about this like an hour ago.
This actually started coming out earlier this afternoon. Normally, whenever news comes from SCEA, it comes right around the 12 to 2 area because obviously they're a West Coast company, starts up a little later for us East Coasters. But it's been pretty big. Once it came to fruition on Twitter, it picked up a lot of steam with the hardcore community.
That reminds me. Let me pull up. I want to pull up the message that SEA put out. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
Yes, it was yesterday. I believe it was yesterday that they put out the accounts are going to be banned, and it was obviously a setup for this.
Yeah, the public service announcement on banning.
Right.
Let me close all these windows so I can pull this up.
Close down the porn, TJ.
Ramon put out a post on the 24th, so it's actually been a couple days now. Today is the 27th. If players found cheating, exploiting, harassing other players, or breaking the rules in game or here on the Show Nation forums, we will suspend the account for a limited time or even permanently ban the ID and console. Some of the things that can get you banned are harassment, trolling, insulting, spamming, cheating, abusing exploits, hostage situations, or griefing. I don't know what that means, but it sounds amazing.
Hostage situations normally goes on to keeping a person in game with exploits of that manner, either by lag griefing or stuff like that.
That's the thing that makes me walk away when I put my control down and I just leave.
Right, exactly.
And selling of in-game currency for real-world money. I feel like this is something that EA Sports hasn't actually come out and said to do with their Ultimate Teams, but selling of in-game currency, that's a bad thing, because I feel like every place that I've seen that does that is super shady.
Yeah, really. And everyone you've ever heard of doing this eventually gets to the point where they're like, oh, well, it looks like I've been scammed. And then the first thing they do is go to the developer and go, hey, these guys scammed me. And they're like, well, why are you buying in-game currency from another site?
And look,
that's just not the way it works.
Look, I'm not going to lie. There has been one time in my life that I have sold in-game currency for real money. I did that to a friend, and that was during the Madden crossover from when I switched from Xbox 360 to PS4. So, I got blood on my hands, but I did that through a friend that I trusted. I said, "Hey, I'm swapping. Do you want these?" He's like, "Sure." We made a small transaction. So, don't get me wrong. I'm somewhat dirty in this whole situation as well.
So I'm not going to say I've never done it personally. I've never gotten to the point where I needed something in terms of currency. Now you're saying to a friend, which is fine. I mean, if you're trading between friends, yes, it's technically against that. But what they're going after are the guys.
All my coin legally obtained. I'm not going out there hacking people's accounts and then selling that coin.
Right, but like I said, I think the biggest what they're aiming for are guys making large amount of stubs by turning the community market on their side. Like right now, I'm looking at Daddy League's home site. You know, they have market gainers and market losers. Right now, I'm looking at a live series 74 Jonathan Broxton that it says that it went up 55,000 stubs, which means at some point somebody bought a Jonathan Broxton for 55,000 stubs. Right now in the market, it's not there. But, I mean, come on. Something's weird there. And right next to it on Market Losers, a live series Cleveland Indians 70 overall Abraham Almonte dropped from 99,000 stubs down to 65, which means at some point Daddy League's got a transaction of Abraham Almonte going for 99,000 stubs. Something's wrong with that.
Yeah, and here's the hard part. Like, maybe that is just like one friend being like, "Hey, I got 60,000 stubs. Do you want them?" Which would be great if we could actually do, because I've been dying to do that in this game. But you can't do that. So,
yeah,
unless you get super lucky, and there was no Jonathan Broxtons on the board, and somehow they got that one deal through.
Right. No offense, no one's buying a 74 Jonathan Broxton, which is a live series card that's been out for a while. I mean, I say that, and people do it all the time in terms of people not knowing any better. But no one's buying a 74 Jonathan Broxton to complete the Cardinal set.
Yeah, and so it's either a friend doing something or a real sale.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Augment in the chat says it has to do with with a person being logged into the market on two separate devices. I've heard bits and pieces about what it's going to be. The problem is we're more than likely not going to hear it unless it comes from one of the people that are banned. Big Lex Money in the chat says, real talk, he got banned and didn't do anything but flip cards legit. Big Lex, this is all I'm going to say in terms of, because I don't know the details. All I'm saying is the people that they banned made a large amount of stubs on what they're calling the community exploit. I'm not saying you did it purposely. You very well may have done it without even thinking about it. But they're not banning one-time people. They're banning people that did this multiple times. The people I saw Ramon talk to on Twitter were 26 times, 30-plus times, making multiple hundreds of thousands of stubs. One guy, Ramon even stated, made 1 million-plus stubs on 30-plus transactions. I don't know what it was. I have no idea what it was. The problem is that if you have that many stubs, you know what you did. I agree that you may have been flipping cards. Flipping cards is not the problem. Something else was. And if you were banned in error, email the support staff and they will get back to you. I guarantee that. But the people on Twitter are going, well, we need answers. We need answers. No one gets answers. No one deserves answers except the people that were banned. If you consider yourself a community leader and you're out there going, well, guys, I should know so I can tell everybody. No, that's not the way this works. It happens to all the games. Madden bans people all the time. You know, you could be banned from all kinds of games. If it was wrongdoing, you'll be reinstated. If not, guess what? You did something. That's all there is to it, unfortunately. That's just either you did it. If you did it multiple times, you knew you were doing it. If you didn't do it, they'll reinstate you.
Yeah, Augment in the chat, I mean, I don't know if this is true, but he's got it from Reddit where you could put up a card for sale on your console, cancel it, get the stubs back, and then, or cancel it from your computer, get the stubs back, then go on your console, and then cancel it again and get those stubs back again.
And I'm guessing they fixed it too? They said they fixed it
already.
They
fixed it a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Well, Big Lex, like I said, Big Lex, again, just in chat, I'm not going to go back and forth about it, but he says he's never been banned from playing any game in his life. As long as you emailed them and you legitimately did not do anything wrong, they will reinstate you. But from what I'm hearing is this is information they've gone over 3 and 4 times, multiple times, to make sure that they didn't miss anybody. I mean, I'm not saying you did something wrong, but they're pretty certain on who they grabbed.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I don't trust anything to do with their servers the majority of the time. So if you feel like you really were banned accidentally, definitely reach out to them via email, because doing it on Twitter is not going to do anything. Email is definitely the way to hit them up, because I think that goes directly to the sport team. Because if you're just yelling at them on Twitter, that's just going to Ramon, and that's not going to do anything.
Agreed.
I mean, you want to say anything else about this? You're the
master
master of the banhammer knowledge.
I mean, coming from a person that, I mean, I'm on a much smaller scale than SCEA is, but when you get banned, nobody is going to come out publicly and say why you got banned. It's not going to happen. It's going to be on individual users. You know, they're going to say, here's what you did. If this is what, I mean, that's what I'm hearing now is people are starting to get those emails back. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to get the emails back over the next couple of days. I'm sure they're slammed right now, but if you didn't do anything, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to be angry. You might have a little bit to be angry about, but you'll be reinstated with no problem. But if you did something and you're just going on Twitter telling people you didn't do it, and you're not getting reinstated, I don't believe you. I don't believe San Diego Studios is banning people, not reinstating them, and then isn't able to prove that.
Listen, they want your money. And if you're banned, they can't get your money. Am I right? Am I crazy?
Absolutely. But the problem is if they want your money, and if you are cheating to get more stubs, you're not giving them your money.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. And the other problem is this. People are like, well, I was flipping cards. They want you to flip cards. When you flip cards, other people are buying them for actual stubs.
Actually, they want you to flip cards because then they get you, it's a 10% tax, and they pull that money out of the
Yeah.
pool of money in the
Exactly.
world.
Yeah, that 10% tax. Think about it. Every 10% that goes back to them is real money that was put into stubs, either by playing game time or by buying them. They want you to flip the cards. Flipping the cards is their number one moneymaker, not just buying packs.
Yeah.
So I know you weren't banned, Dog Man.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say on it. So
yeah, if you feel you were banned accidentally, theshow@playstation.sony.com. Shoot them an email. They should be able to help clear that up. I do know that they fixed up the error where a bunch of people were getting the mission sets completed without actually having to do them.
that was last Thursday. I think they started taking cards away from that.
So yeah, that's nice. They kind of fixed that. So hopefully we get this cleared up. If anybody was banned accidentally, hopefully they get cleared up quick, and we can all just get back to playing.
Yeah, because I mean that's the big thing around here is every time something like this happens, and my problem isn't with SCEA. Like the community backlash is just it comes really quickly and it's really hard. But in a week it'll be back to normal, and it affects the community for a couple days. And some of the hardcore gamers get to the point where they're like, well, I don't really like all this negativity. You got to step up and be above that, guys. Like the hardcore guys that are streaming on this game nightly, the CB5s, the Carl dudes, the Snake Doctors, all these guys that are here us, whenever we're streaming.
Spore.
Yes, Spore. I mean, I love Spore. Outside Sliders on all the time. Clutch Silver. I mean, all these guys that are mainstays in the show community streaming, those are the guys that have to come in and say, this is our community, we're going to keep it positive. It's like Carl Dude this weekend. You're never going to hear me talk more about this. Carl Dude took a tournament of 100 players and ran it all weekend. That dude deserves a freaking medal for the positive hype he got out of that. And he had legitimately people stopping in all weekend saying how awesome it was. So they're not going to lose half the community in this Big Lex money. They're not losing the community because the mainstays of this community are going to keep it positive. MLB The Show Tips _ is in the chat. Same thing. Absolutely. This community is more positive than anybody gives it credit for. So we'll still be here.
Yeah, I don't think nobody that I know of got banned from this, but
yeah, no one I know either. I know some people were saying like Pitching Rebel and a couple other guys. Well, and Cardinal Bird was sticking up for them, saying that they didn't do anything wrong. If they didn't, they'll be reinstated without a problem.